Hi, I'm Al. This is a video. So what we're going to be doing today is I've been given a copyable of an upcoming top 1 extreme demon. Again, yes, I know, I have crazy original content. I'm terribly sorry, but it's been a level that's been up and coming for a really long time. I think it's been an upcoming top 1 since like 2017 or some crazy stuff like that. So it's been a long time coming. Closing in on being done. I don't know how progress is going with the verifier, but it's been a level that a lot of people are very intrigued by. It's a level that very many people are excited for. So I've been given the final copy of the level to check out for you guys. And the level is none other than Sonic Wave Infinity, to be verified by Sani, created by the APTeam. I'm going to be trying to go into this with an open mind, and I'm going to be trying to give my thoughts and opinion on it now that I'm going to be able to get to play it for myself. Keep in mind that I will probably be doing a little bit of speed hacking for this because, and hear me out, this level is incredibly object heavy. And when I say incredibly object heavy, I mean very object heavy. I've not been able to open this in the editor. I've been able to start it and play it, but I have not been able to open it in the editor. I can't actually check how many objects there are because it will just crash my game. Yes, that happened. So yeah, we're just gonna hop into this, give it a little whirl, similar to what I did with my firework video. So yeah, again, huge shout out to Sani for giving me the copy. Check it out, and let's just hop into it. I think that's gonna be exciting. Hopefully it won't be too hard, but then again, it's Sonic Wave. I suck at Wave, so this is gonna be great. I'm gonna die a lot. It's gonna be, yeah. That's all I can say. So already from the get-go, it's just this jump right here, the jump at 1% in this level, 2% in the original. This level, that jump to me always seemed impossible because it's already impossible in the original. I did it. I almost got 2% on Sonic Wave Infinity. Oh yeah, here comes the issue, right? Here comes the issue with why this is going to be impossible to do without speed hacks. Start position lag, which means I have to be very, very strategic with my placement of checkpoints. Otherwise, I'm going to be screwed over. See, okay, I'm going to be complaining a little bit immediately here. This is where my bias is going to start shining through. The reason why I'm not a huge fan personally of this is because it just takes, it's hard gameplay. Sonic Wave is a difficult level, but it just takes that gameplay that is like fundamentally like a top 30, 40-ish level and just super buffs it onto top 1 without actually making the gameplay be fundamentally super difficult. It's just like, we're gonna take these easy things and we're gonna make them obscenely difficult for no apparent reason, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I think the decoration is okay. Like, I think the, like, if you see the structuring in the background, like the shading and like the dimensions of the background, I think look really cool. Even though they're very simple, they're incredibly simple design, but they just look really cool and they just have this like nice depth to them, which I really like. Does it blend in with the super overly detailed blocks? That's for you to decide. I'm personally pretty neutral on it. I still didn't get it. What? Okay, there we go. I got it. That only took like a million tries. Oh wow, some of these timings are really, really hard. I mean, that's kind of the point, but you know. But the thing I like is that, or I don't know if I like it or not, but some of these clicks are much easier than the others. So it feels like this is just a bunch of choke points in the beginning. I did that. Okay. The first cube I can see is reasonable. I can see myself passing the first cube. It's still really hard. Well, this part looks fucking ridiculous. I don't like this kind of core style. Personal preference, I'm not a huge core fan. But I would think a lot of the difficulty is going to come from waves that are all just like basically the perfect wave timings. But this shit part looks absolutely bonkers. Yes, I just used the word bonkers to describe something. Fucking sue me. That's so tight. That's actually kind of ridiculous. Insane. This shit part is actually ridiculous. How did I do that? I don't know how I did that. That was kind of crazy. You have to be so precise. I mean, that's kind of the point with the top 1. You have to be precise. But this is just, it just feels unnaturally difficult. I can't tell if this is just something that you have to get used to, or if it just is straight up insanely hard or not. I'm gonna try and compare this to Firework once I get around to finishing the practice run, but I won't be able to give like an actual proper assessment of it just because of my bias towards wave gameplay, basically. This ship part is pretty satisfying though. I will say as much. I think this ship part is a very, very satisfying ship to play. It's just really hard. Describe it in a way that makes complete sense. But it just feels like a part that over time gets really easy because it's just a lot of the clicks are very, they feel very natural. I will give them props to that. I will give them props to that ship part. It feels very natural to play. It's just very hard. But it feels like a part that you will over time get consistent with, which is a very good thing. I think that's a very good thing. I think props to them for making something that hard feel natural to play. I would not be able to do that myself. We thought the ball part in the original was hard. Holy crap, dude. See, okay, a large part of me, the reason why I don't want to do Sonic Wave is not necessarily because it's a wave level. It's because I can't stand the pre-drop, and this ball part is a very large reason as to why. I will say, though, I do feel very fortunate to be able to give Sonic Wave Infinity a whirl just to, like, give it a go. I've been asked by some people to do something similar to what I did with Firework with other levels, and when Sandy reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do SWI, I was like, sure, that sounds cool. This part feels almost easier, actually. Like, it feels more natural, if that makes sense. That was weird. That felt really weird, because that ball part felt kind of easier than it is in the original. That might have been just me improving. I haven't played Sonic Wave in forever, but that part felt easier somehow, because I usually had a lot of trouble with that pink orb in the original, but in this one, I just did it every time. That's weird. I might have to ask around if that actually is a nerf or not, because I remember in the original that was really awkward and annoying. I'm sitting over 240 FPS though, which is impressive. I will say, I did not expect this to be like a stable 240 plus. Oh, that's interesting. That makes this part much harder. There's a platform here and a platform here. I don't know how I feel about that form of like artificial buffing of the part. As you can see, there were like platforms there, which makes that part much harder, because normally you could just like wiggle normally here, but here you actually have to like wiggle through that. Ooh, that's kind of hard. And by kind of hard, I mean really hard. I think, I don't know, there's just something cluttered about it. It tries to be minimalistic, but also do a lot. And I just think it ends up looking kind of corny. Like, these, like, things over here, I don't really like. But we're here to talk about the difficulty of the level, not necessarily the decoration. I'm just going on tangents. I'm terribly sorry about that. This is much more open than I thought it was going to be. Like, obviously, that's a ridiculously hard part. That's way more open than I expected it to be. Oh my god. Okay, that was not what I was expecting. Holy. I think this part looks a little bit better. I actually like the visuals of this. I don't know. Just some of these parts just feel a lot easier than I expected. Like, they look really hard, but playing them felt surprisingly natural. Like, obviously, I've played a little bit of Sonic Wave over my past, which is why I can say that I don't really like the level. But yeah, some of this just feels natural in a way. Like, I've played Auditory Breaker. I've done some decent runs on Auditory Breaker, but Auditory Breaker is like a million times easier than this. So I don't know how to feel about the fact that I'm able to make some like decent, well, obviously they're just like barely runs. Like, I'm doing like 2% of the level, but being able to pass anything in this is much more than I anticipated first going into this. I was expecting to not be able to do like anything, like having to start position for every single click. This is one of the cooler parts in my opinion. This is one of the parts that I actually think is really neat, and is a cool change to the original. This part adds like spikes to the ground here, because normally you would just go up and down, but here you would actually have to do like, can you call it actual gameplay? I don't know. But, like, there are changes to the gameplay here, which I do actually genuinely think are neat. It doesn't add too much difficulty, but it does add difficulty. Oh, I passed the entire thing. That's kind of crazy. I actually passed an entire section in Sonic Wave Infinity. To be fair, it's a rather easy one, but... So, this part in Sonic Wave and in Auditory Breaker is infamously really bad. This part looks ridiculously tight. Like, that click right there looks absolutely absurd. I kind of like the blue gradient in this part. I'm gonna keep going on about the decoration, because I think decoration is like a big part of Sonic Wave Infinity to me, because of the fact that Sonic Wave is Sonic Wave. So a lot of us are familiar with the gameplay, right? I'm gonna be talking about the decoration a lot in this, I feel like. Just looking at fire. I like the gradient here. I like the like glow overshadow. I think while it's a little bit grainy, as in just it's huge glow basically, I still think it looks nice overall. And I really like this little structure right here. I think that structure looks really sick. I don't like the sauce. I think the sauce looked goofy. But other than that, I actually like this part. Now, this looks like one of the more buffed parts, in my opinion. Because I remember this in, like, Sonic Wave and Sonic Wave Infinity not being that hard. But this is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, because this part, I don't remember being very, very difficult in the actual level. This is giving me a lot of trouble. I mean, to be fair, it's Sonic Wave Infinity. I'm going to keep using that as the excuse. But even relative to Sonic Wave, I feel like this is proportionally the most buffed part so far. Okay, I did not expect the spam part to be this hard either. Because, like, normally the spam part is considered free in Sonic Wave because there's a lot of room. There is not a lot of wiggle room in this part. Like, there's not a lot of wiggle room whatsoever. Oh! I did the infamous 49 click first attempt. That's crazy. That's wild. I can't believe I actually did that. I was thinking to myself, what if I did that first try? And then I did it first try. Oh, that felt awesome. That is really hard, though. That spam part is much, much harder than it used to be. That's a really awkwardly placed yellow portal. Because you're not supposed to hit that. So you have to go down here and then go up slightly and then fall into it, it seems like. I feel like the saw blades create for, like, a fake sense of hitbox. Like, it looks like you have a lot more spacer than you really do. But the saw blades make it so that you have very little room for error. This part is really hard. Like, you have to maneuver this part of the wave insanely weird. Everything else, like, this part is not that hard, but this little maneuver right here, the up here, it's insanely hard. Let's see if this cube is any, like, significantly harder. Because that's been one of my biggest questions about Sonic Wave Infinity in particular, is how much harder or easier is this cube? So far, it doesn't feel that hard. It feels like a break part in a sense, but that was a lot easier. That part was significantly easier than the entire thing. I'm pretty sure that, okay, so, you know what? Let's try and do the entire cube, because I feel like I could definitely do this. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels slightly inconsistent. I don't know if it's inconsistent, actually. I'll take that back.
I think it's time to blow this thing.
Yeah, I just did, I just did what? 9% of Sonic Wave Infinity after a good 4 minutes of playing the part. It just feels too easy for me for Sonic Wave Infinity. As stupid as that sounds, that just feels like it's too easy. But then we get thrown into this shit, which looks absolutely silent. Why does this just move in randomly, though? It looks so out of place. Like, these are just stagnant, and then this thing just, like, slides in, like, yo, what's up? How's it going? It just looks really out of place. Okay, just because I'm too lazy to actually try and get through this in this run that I'm trying to do. This is essentially the run that you're supposed to get. You're supposed to go here, go up, go down. Oh, that's tight. That's actually really, really tight. The ending to this is very brutal, actually. The ending to this duel is absolutely bananas. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna admit, the layering here, the masking done for these saws look absolutely crazy. Like, it actually looks really sick. It looks like a fever dream. Motherfucker. Thank fucking god I have a copy here that happens to start as 55. Otherwise, I would have been fucked by that. Like, I'm not even gonna, pretend to think that I'm able to do this part. Because this part looks absolutely insane. One of the things that do worry me about Sonic Wave Infinity is the fact that it seems like it's a second half heavy level. Though I can't really say much about that because I don't actually know for a fact if it is. It just seemed like a second half heavy level to me. I really don't like this though. I think the part, visually speaking right now, looks horrendous. Like, this is what I think of when I think Sonic Wave Infinity. I really don't like this part. I feel like this part is severely over-decorated and just looks clunky. But the visuals aside, I think the gameplay in this is also horrendous. Okay, then we get to the end here. That gap is so dumb! What? No, I can't do that. That's insane. I refuse to believe that's going to be unnerfed. I refuse to believe the entirety of this is not going to be nerfed. Unless Riot is like really stingy about the fact that it should not be nerfed. Like, look at these timings, dude. Like, how are most of these even like feasible from 0? Like, sure, you can possibly do them, but doing these forms of precise inputs from 0? Like, what is... Bro, what the hell is that gap? Okay. And then the 20% end screen. I honestly don't know how to feel. This is incredibly second half heavy. The like last 30% of this level, as in 50 to 80%, is insanely hard. Absolutely insanely hard. But the first 50% honestly isn't that bad. Like, it's hard, don't get me wrong, but it's not like impossible. It just feels like the last 30% of this level is incredibly difficult. I think the last 30% of this holds up like most of the difficulty. I don't think this is top 1 worthy without the insane difficulty spike that happens in the last 30%. But yeah, that's very hard, to put it that way. That's hard. That's really hard. That's all I have to say. I don't think it looks as bad as I initially expected it to, and some of the parts aren't nearly as difficult as I expected them to be, but overall, this seems like a very, very challenging level. I have to say good luck to Sammy, and thank you for letting me play. Overall, a fine level. I don't, however, think it's harder than Firework, I will have to say. Because, and hear me out, Firework is longer, first and foremost, but Firework is also a second half heavy level, and Firework just isn't as well known. Sonic Wave Infinity's biggest issue comes from the fact that it is Sonic Wave, meaning that a lot of players will already have some form of knowledge with the actual gameplay and the fundamentals of the gameplay in Sonic Wave Infinity, meaning that more people are going to be able to actually tackle it. Meanwhile, Firework is just an absolute gauntlet of impossible, basically. But that's my personal opinion. Obviously, I don't have that much of an opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm always an advocate for, if you can't beat the level, don't really speak up on it. But after trying them both in practice mode and like fiddling around with them, I think Firework is going to end up being the harder level. But it doesn't really matter too much, because neither level is released. So does it really matter that much? I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me, at least. But yeah. Neat level overall. Not the biggest fan, but it's okay. I don't think it's as bad as I initially thought. I was going into it being like, oh, it's probably going to be ass. But it's not that bad. I actually don't think it's that bad. Anyway, subscribe to the channel if you like the content and like the video. Thank you so much for all the recent support. I'll talk to you guys later. Remember to eat your greens. Thank you for making my day better, and I hope I made yours a little bit better as well. Peace out.